Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again. Today, we have the former colonial countries, powers, and we have some neo-colonial powers. One of the, or maybe the only neo-colonial power is the United States of America. Because I think it is in the process of taking over this globe right here, not necessarily by direct occupation in a way that they control, like the old colonizers used to do, but differently. You know, they stay somehow in the shadows, not like the former colonial powers, which we know who they are. So don't you ever say again European colonial powers or colonial countries, because it's incorrect. We know who they are. Call them by name. It's not so hard. About 6 or 7 countries out of about what, 40 or something, 30 something. Okay, so do us a favor, the countries that were not involved in that kind of practice, good or bad as it was, don't do us a favor and don't lump us together. Name names. You know who they are. Correct? Correct. Do you need help? No. All right. So what happened here? We have Venezuela, and Venezuela tries to pursue an independent sovereign path, which is not allowed if you're not one of the biggest country. And I could even push it further to say if you're not two countries. That's the United States of America and Israel. The rest, no. The rest have to be subordinated to this status quo. I have to find euphemisms, or just I can just say to these guys or that guys, those guys. So what happens? Venezuela has its own government, its own way of doing business, its own country. They can run their countries however they say. Obviously, they have some little obligations under the United Nations, as United States has as well. So, nevertheless, what they do, they run their country the way they see fit, with good things and bad things. Like, for instance, Cuba. Cuba tried to be independent, and the United States of America said no. And what happened? Well, the fact is, Cuba, with Fidel Castro, he, nationalized certain industries, actually all industries in Cuba, therefore depriving the big interests from the United States of America, and not only at that time. And then that was the hatred. Nothing. If Fidel Castro would have allowed the Western interests to stay in Venezuela somehow and do what they do best, he would have been in power, as well as he was without or opposing the big Al Capone. But, well, that's the way it is. People stick their noses in other people's households. So Venezuela threatens the Great Britain, because the Great Britain, Venezuela said, well, part of this little territory, which is not really little, in Guyana, its neighbor, I will show you a map, belongs to us. For some reason, they determined that. And supposedly that is very rich in some resources, and you don't mess with taxes and resources on this planet. So, let me show you this little map so we know where we are and what we are talking about first. The map of South America with its countries, and the red one right here is Venezuela. Next to it, the green one is Guyana. And Venezuela claims 2/3 of Guyana. All this western part of Guyana needs to come to Venezuela, Maduro says. And he said, we're going to take it. They voted, they conducted the referendum, and they said, it's going to be ours. Guyana said, what are you talking about? The Americans came over there where they did a little military exercise in the area, and the Brits thought that they're still a power, obviously. And it's like, I say, it's like the 68 former boxing heavyweight champion who boxed like this now, or let me show you what I got, and he thinks he still got it. I think that's Great Britain at this point. No, I don't mean to insult it, but that's the way it is. Without the United States of America, you will have Poland, you will have the Baltic states, you will have Canada, you will have the Great Britain, you have Australia, South Korea, Japan, talking normal. Right now, they're all puffed and strong, Because of the United States of America. When the United States of America, let's say, disappears tomorrow, they will become normal. And Great Britain will become normal and will talk as an equal with countries that are not inferior to it whatsoever. But now, no, they think are part of the, and they are, of the club. But it's not a club, it's a plantation. Al Capone is the master, the rest are slaves, only the Great Britain is the house servant, but still a slave. And Great Britain feels a little bit more important. Great Britain, after the Second World War, after they beat Hitler, they lost their empire and they got bankrupt. Good deal. Anyway, it could have been worse. I know how I know the narrative so well. So let's see what do we have here. This article comes from yesterday, from the Telegraph. Don't mess with Venezuela, says Nicolas Maduro, warns Britain over Navy warship sent to protect Guyana. One Navy warship. Maybe that's all they need. Or maybe that's all they have. I don't know. Man, we're going to have to deal first with, what do they have over there, man? Is that a emerald? I like emeralds. And Nicolas Maduro, the president, they tried to do the same thing like Argentina. I don't know. Falkland Islands. Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, warned Britain, and I'm quoting, don't mess with his country, as he deployed thousands of troops in response to Royal Navy ship sent to the region. Mr. Maduro called Britain a, and I'm quoting, decadent, rotten ex-empire. Well, you might disagree with that, but let's analyze it. Decadent. Well, why don't you look at what kind of social policies they have? I think it's decadent. Rotten, full of look who they have. They had, Jesus Christ, Liz Truss. They had Boris Johnson. They have Sunak. Now they brought back Cameron. Are they going to bring back, what's his name, Tony Blair tomorrow? I mean, really, what's going on over there? Yeah, I can call it rotten. Ex-empire, I think it fits. So you might not like it, but you see, we really are in a society. It's a negotiation with the people. The people have a say in how they perceive you. And you have to convince them. You can't make them, oblige them, or how should I put it, hurt them in a tyrannical, authoritarian way to perceive you as something else. Like these guys want this way in that decadent society in Great Britain. If I identify, I'm talking about the United States of America right now, I want to identify as this, I am a that. Well, no, you are what the society perceives you as being. And if you don't behave in a certain way, the society most likely will see you the way you behave. So you have to be consistent in your behavior, and eventually people will see you differently. Yeah, people have their own problems, and they will they will refuse to see reality. Even if you're a good person, they will say you're a bad person. But it's people, certain people, we have plenty of. I can say a majority, but still you still negotiate. So again, it's not how you see yourself. Like this guy said, they're exceptional. Why don't you let others say what you are and how you are? I mean, these are ancient Greek, knowledge. Pieces of, how should I put it, of behavior, of analysis. Otherwise, we all say we're geniuses. Therefore, I deserve to be in charge of this department or that scientific project or that or that. But it doesn't work that way. You have to prove it. So that's why self-identification doesn't work with what you can show. What you can show is what you are, not what you can claim, unless you back it. But still, words are words. I'm the best, fantastic, perfect person on this planet. Okay? Now prove. First, take a mirror, Amy, look in it. Are you perfect? Okay? And okay, well, you said this, you said that, you contradicted that, you were wrong about that, you made mistakes in the past. How are you perfect? Do you think you're going to be perfect? Wait a few days and see how perfect you want to be. So again, because he called it decadent, rotten, and ex-empire, I think he has a point over there. You feel insulted? Maybe you should pick up a mirror. All right, it says here, as he ordered troops into defensive maneuvers ahead of HMS Trent arriving to support neighboring Guyana in a territorial row. Britain said on Sunday that it would divert the patrol vessel to the former British colony amid the South American country's simmering dispute over the oil-rich Essequibo region. So Guyana was an former colony of Great Britain. A Guyana foreign ministry source speaking on the condition of anonymity told Agence France Presse that the ship was due to arrive on Friday and would be in its territory for less than a week for open sea defense exercises. This ship will not dock in Georgetown. Mr. Maduro said he was launching a joint action of defensive nature in response to the provocation and threat of the United Kingdom against peace and the sovereignty of our country. Isn't that strange? You claim you have some territorial disputes and you want another country's territory, and then you say that these guys bringing their vessel in your area, it's something, it threatens your sovereignty. It's kind of like hypocritical. But hey, I'll be honest with you, I do not possess a deep understanding of Essequibo situation between Venezuela and Guyana. I didn't look into it deep to say, okay, I think that should be this guy's territory or those guys' territories or nobody's territories. I do not have the knowledge. That's why I'm not going to say if it's right or wrong, but I don't like when people claim other people's lands based on, because I feel so. I feel like, you know. Anyway, Mr. Maduro, the television broadcast, according to Maduro, announcement showed fighter jets taking part in a Venezuelan exercise as well as ships and ocean patrol vessels. Now that matters. What does it matter? If those fighter jets were 1960s or let's say 1970s, like F-16s, I have to below the belt. No, if it's an old or vessels, I don't know, they use rows or I don't know, one engine, then you can call it. Like these guys in school here in America, that was very, very laughable. In schools, and I can't remember what kind of class I was taking in university, and it was a woman teacher, female, and she said about the Zulu Empire, and I felt like, what the fuck are you talking about? I know something about that one, but I also know about the Roman Empire. And I said, you see, you use empire to name two different organizations, two different areas of certain kind of development that you cannot put them on the same level. So it's like right now, these guys say showed fighter jets. Like what kind? It's very important. Fighter jets from 1950 something, like an MiG-15, and some ships. What kind of ships? It matters. But they still, if you hear fighter jets, oh my God, you think of, I know, F-35 or I know Sukhois or MiGs. No, you don't know what. I would like to know, because that matters. So I can have a better understanding what kind of jets, what kind of vessels, patrol vessels. Come on, boys, let's do it. I'm just kidding, but not. Do you think Maduro has the, 2023 level army? No. Anyway, let's move on. The Venezuelan government earlier asked Guyana in a statement, and I'm going to take immediate action for the withdrawal of the HMS Trent and to refrain from involving military powers in the territorial controversy. And here is the little vessel right here. This is, let me remove myself. I'm going to do you a favor. Right there. Beautiful vessel. This is a modern one. Looks one. I don't know what kind of abilities it has. Well, as I remember, it was a Russian admiral when he was told by he was asked a question, hey, the Americans built this, how do they call it, aircraft carrier. Oh my God, we got I don't know how many aircraft carriers. And he said, well, it's okay. One missile can blow it up. So we are focused on building missiles. So same here. That looks good. That looks big enough. So I think one missile can fuck it up. I say, if the missile can do it, can do it. I'm pretty sure now, if you have missiles from the First World War, which they were not, then yes, you can destroy it. Let's move on. Oh, story continues. Well, it says Mr. Maduro claims that Essequibo, which makes up about 2/3 of Guyana's territory, is Venezuelan land. The decades-old dispute has flared since massive oil deposits were found in its waters. I read about it. Something like was taken from these guys, given to the other ones by the colonizers. something like that. Foreign countries, let's put it this way. Not it was not between Venezuela and Guyana. It was about other people intervening. Escalating tensions have raised fears of potential conflict in the region over the remote area of 160,000 square kilometers, which is 62,000 square miles. All right, my friends. The point here is not Maduro per se, is oil. If Maduro will allow Chevron, as it allows right now, Exxon Mobil and whomever to rape his country of resources like they did to Iran in 1952, three with whatever his name, Mossadegh, I think it's his name, Mossadegh, then everything will be just fine. But it seems like he doesn't want to do that. So therefore, he's the bad dude right there. Oh yeah, I know, human rights violations. We, the perfect people here in a perfect country, we point the fingers. We're the global moralizers because we say so. We identify as. So therefore, that's true. In the new decadent, perverted society that we try to push on other countries because ours is better. Because we say so. We identify as. Okay, so all that trumps, Donald trumps everything. But hey, only we can use that. You can't use it. Only I can use this kind of self-identification reality. You can't, because otherwise you're going to nullify my self-identification reality by saying I'm perfect, and it's going to say I'm just going to be a little bit tired here, more than usual. I'm more than perfect. You can't be because I'm perfect. You can't identify as that. Only I can. Why? Because I determined that only I am allowed to. Why? You see this and this? Just because. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.